So there are countries where no one lives in them. Yep, not every country in the world has a dense population. Not every country in the world has a million people per square kilometer. But most scholars agree that it's a more essential metric than overall population. What is the number of people living in either area? So what are the least populated countries in the world? Yeah, yeah. What is the discussion? There we go. So basically, these are the least densely populated countries in the world. So basically, places like Canada will probably be on this list. Russia, yeah, large countries of very low population. What about them? So the 45 least densely populated countries. Number 45 is Uruguay, a country in South America. South America is very not densely populated because it was colonized. So does it? So unlike with like European countries where they had decades and centuries of history, Uruguay only existed for like 200 years, and most of the people move to Uruguay. It is a very, you know, the country didn't have much time to build its massive population like China. Here, and only has a square people per square kilometer of 51. Mali, a country in Africa, is concentrated around the Niger River, with 90% of its population living in the southern region. Most of Mali is a desert. Algeria is the same thing. It's mostly just desert. Belize is a pretty big country, but only 300,000 people live in Belize. Yes, that little people live in Belize. You'd think that Belize would have like a million or two people. It is a small country, but this country only has around 300,000 people as well. It is mostly concentrated over particularly in Belize City as well. It has people per square kilometer of 47. Finland is pretty cold. That's the reason why Finland is very undensely populated. Republic of the Congo is mostly because the Republic of the Congo is jungle. Because of the massive growth of Africa, expect Mali and Republic of Congo to not be on this list in future lists, by 2015 2100 because of the massive growth of sub-Saharan African population. Same thing with South Sudan was among the least densely populated countries in the world, as a vast area of uninhabitable land was contributed to the world population density. It probably won't be on this list in the future, but at the current list, it is at 46 people per square kilometer. Paraguay has 45 people per square kilometer. It is mostly because Paraguay is mostly jungle, and yeah, that's the reason why nobody lives in Paraguay. 45 people per square kilometer. Saudi Arabia, it is mostly desert. Here, one of the few Asian countries on the list to the least populated here. It is because it's a massive country that no one lives in. Argentina is 44 people per square kilometer. It's one of the least densely populated countries and is also like growing at a slow pace, along with the fertility rate decline sign earlier than the rest of Latin America as well. But it's also what's happening to Colombia, Brazil, and most of Latin America having very low birth rates at this current moment. Next is New Caledonia. It is one of the least densely populated areas in the world with scattered settlements. Oman is another very desert country. Terrain mostly consists of hot deserts and rugged mountains in inhabitable areas. Norway is, of course, it's very cold and mountainy. That's why no one lives in Norway. Chad is a Central African country of uneven area. Country's population is basically in the southeast. It is mostly just desert, which is why it's on this list. Turkmenistan, with 5.6 million people, Turkmenistan is one of the most densely populated areas in the world. It is mostly as a desert and plateaus as well. Bolivia is mostly mountains and hill and jungle, but again, there are two areas that people don't like living in. So 30 people per square kilometer. Gabon is a similar case, along with Central African Republic to Bolivia. Both of these countries have very low population per square kilometer because they're mostly just jungle here, and these areas do not really have a lot of people. Russia is the next country on the list with 23 people per square mile. It's per square mile, not square kilometer. It's even much more, like 8 people per square kilometer, square mile. Russia's largest country in the world has one of the least densely populated areas. Well, no one lives in Siberia, but everybody lives in the European portion. New is at 16, and it's an island where no one lives on it. Now we go to the least populated countries. 15 is Kazakhstan, a very large country, one of the largest countries in the world, but almost no one lives in Kazakhstan. 19 people per square mile. Mauritania, a desert country, 14 people per square mile. Botswana is mostly like desert, as well, yeah, and it has one of the lowest population densities in the world in Africa. Guyana, a South American country as well, mostly no one lives in Guyana, so it's mostly jungle. Most of the country is undeveloped as well, so yes. Canada, which was expected to be on this list, yeah, Canada and Canada is trying desperately to increase their population, but I just don't think it will happen. Okay, there's too limited space in Canada. Like Canada doesn't realize that its biggest weakness is that its geography sucks. Canada, the you're not gonna really develop the northern part of the country. I'm sorry, you're not gonna have 100 million people by 2100. It's not gonna happen. So, France Guyana, a South American area owned by France, is very undeveloped like Guyana as well. Iceland, mostly cold, you know, and mountainous, and yeah, that's why no one lives in Iceland. Suriname, as well, mostly jungle, and most people live in the capital city. Libya, again, it is mostly a giant desert. What's the explanation for it? Australia, because it's Australia, no one wants to live in Australia. It is mostly filled with deadly animals and desert. Namibia, of course, is well known for a desert as well. Yeah, as well. West of Sahara, again, it is Sahara Desert. No one lives in the Sahara Desert. 6 people per square mile. Mongolia, one of the least densely populated countries in the world, is a massive cold desert and steppe region. Only 6 people per square mile. Falkland Islands is cold and absolutely no one wants to live there. Mostly those British people live in the Falkland Islands, so yeah. And the least densely populated country in the world is Greenland, with 0.46 people per square miles as well. And it's mostly just a giant ice sheet. So, of course, no one lives in Greenland. Those are the least populated countries in the world. Goodbye.